If you're learning a language on your own, do you know exactly what you need to learn today or what to learn tomorrow? If you're like most solo learners, you don't. And if you don't know your next steps, then you'll forever be hopping around from resource to resource and never make progress. But if you're learning with our system, today you'll discover the most important learning tool in our learning system, the dashboard, how it keeps you going with language learning instead of wondering what to do, and how to customize your learning so you can focus on areas like speaking, listening, or grammar. But first, if you don't yet have access to our language learning system, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account. So let's jump in. I'll guide you through our learning system so you get to see exactly what's inside and our members-only study tools. Okay, so in this video, let's talk about the dashboard. The dashboard is kind of like your home base for your learning on our website. So let's take a look at what you can do with the dashboard and how you can use it to make your studies easier, more fun, and more effective and efficient too. So first, how do we access the dashboard? You can find the dashboard from any page on the website. Just click on the dashboard link in the top left side of the page. So you'll find a page that looks a little bit like this. You will have your profile, so your name, your level here. And then on the top right, you will see your study statistics. So this will show you very quickly how many lessons you have completed. So completed is an important word there. How many lessons you have finished. You will also see the number of flashcards you have reviewed, and you will also see your total number of hours studied here. So if you want a little bit more information about this and get a report, if you want to get a report of that, you can click on the View My Report button to find more information there. But let's continue on down the page. The next section is the My Pathways section. So this part is probably the part you are going to spend a lot of time in. In the My Pathways section, you can see all of the different pathways that you have started or completed on the website. So in this case, there are 4 different pathways, and 3 of them are marked with this green check mark. So this shows that the pathway is completed. You have studied all the lessons in that pathway. Nice job. You will also notice that this one at the top in this example has this Go to Lesson button on the right side. Yeah. So this means that this pathway has a lesson that is ready for you to study next. So the idea here is that we've solved the issue that many learners have, especially when they're studying alone, which is that they don't know what to study next, right? If you study with a lot of YouTube videos or podcasts or something, it might not be clear what the next thing is that you need to study. But if you come to your dashboard every day like this, you can very easily see what the next lesson is that you need to do, and you can just click on the Go to Lesson button to get started. So this is very, very helpful if you're ever kind of not sure what you should be doing next. So make sure that you check the Pathways section every time you log in to see what your next lesson is. Quickly, let's take a look at the bottom section of the page. You'll find at the bottom some featured lessons, which means some lessons that we think might be good or interesting for you. You'll also find in the latest news section information about things like sales and discounts and new features and new tools that you can use on the website. So take a look here to see if there's something that might be useful for you. Finally, at the bottom, we have featured vocabulary lists. So again, just some ideas for you to help you with your studies. If there's something you haven't studied, you might notice it here. Then the last thing that I want to talk about is regarding the pathways section. So let's say that you reach a point where all of your pathways are green, right? How do you go on to the next level? Like if you finish all of the level 1 things, how do you move on to the next level? You can do this in 2 different ways. First, you can click this Browse All Pathways button. This will take you to our lesson library. You can also access this by clicking on the Lesson Library link from the Lesson drop-down menu at the top of the page. So this will take you to the lesson library. Here, you can see what you are studying now, right? So this is the absolute beginner pathway. In this case, you can see all of the different lessons that are inside the pathway and all the information on this page. But if you know you are ready to move on to the next level, or if you just want to take a look at the different lessons that are available, you can go to this drop-down menu on the top right here, and you can see all of the different levels on this section. So you can click the level that is interesting to you or that you want to check out, and it will take you to that page. So here again, you can see all of the information, all of the different lessons, the lesson titles and topics and things like that. If you want to start studying with this pathway, you can click the Study Now button and it will appear in your dashboard so that it appears the next time you log in, and you can click the Go to Lesson button on it. So this is a really quick introduction to all of the different things that you can do on the dashboard. It's a great way to see your progress, to take a look at how many flashcards you've reviewed, how much time you're putting into your studies, how many lessons you've completed. So if it ever feels like you're not making progress or you're not sure if you're actually moving forward, the dashboard is a really great way to make sure that you are actually making progress. And it's also really helpful in terms of being able to easily see what the next thing is that you need to do for your studies. So, if you want to learn the language and get access to these learning tools and our learning system, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account.
Want to speak real Italian from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at ItalianPod101.com.
Hello everyone, welcome back to ItalianPod101.com. My name is Daisy, mi chiamo Daisy, and in this video we're going to talk about how long it takes to learn Italian. Quanto tempo per imparare l'italiano? Quanto tempo per imparare l'italiano? Allora, we need to talk about many things. In fact, there are different factors that affect the way and the speed of you learning Italian. First of all, of course, we have the goal. Some people just want to be able to order food. I mean, that's top priority. Some people need more. They may need to know how to write formal emails, for example, if they're looking for a job in Italy, or if they're going to university, they need a higher level, right? So that's something that really makes a difference. Then it also depends on your native language, because, for example, some people have it easier in pronunciation, like I'd say Japanese people, because they're used to syllables and to pronounce a word till the end, let's say. While for some English-speaking people, it may be harder to understand that there are 6 forms for each verb, depending on the subject, or that there are genders of words, right? So I'd say that if you are, for example, French or Spanish, you may be in advantage in this case. But again, it also depends on you then. Then you also have to consider how much time you want to spend in learning Italian, because let's say if you do that once a week, like with a teacher, right? Like it could be with me, but then you don't do anything during that week, not even the homeworks, for example, then of course it will be slower than someone who does that every day in class and then asks active questions to the teacher, right? Just the very same hour of teaching, it may be used differently. Because there are some people that only study when they're studying with their teacher, some people that basically study the whole time and then they try to put everything into practice when they have the chance to. So it really depends, and this is extremely linked to the exposure, meaning that if you're in the country, you're basically studying every minute, because every time you go outside or you have an interaction, you're studying, because even if you're not practicing yourself, you're having some inputs, right? And also there is another factor, which is the motivation, because if you know the language, the quality of your life also improves if you're living in that country, right? While if you're away, it does matter if you're really into it, but it doesn't change that much if you don't know that word. And believe me, if you need to know how to ask for food, you will remember it sooner. That being said, taking as a reference the CELI, which is the Certificato di Conoscenza della Lingua Italiana, so the Certificate of Knowledge of Italian Language, which has national value, and not only actually international value, there are different levels and different hours, so different times to achieve them. Let's say, first of all, that if you want to take the CELI, you can take in Perugia, which is the center, so the University of Perugia, but there are also some other centers, so you don't have to go all the way there. For example, there are some in Milano, some in Rome, and abroad, you have the chance to take it in Italian cultural centers. The cost, by the way, if you're wondering about that too, varies depending on the level that you're applying for, and you can take it once or twice a year. depending where you're located. As I was saying, there are different levels, and they were agreed on by the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. So there are 5 levels, from 1 to 5, from the easiest to the hardest. Now, to know what's inside one level, you can check it almost everywhere online because it's the same for all the European languages, okay? Of course, not as topics because they differ depending on the language, but on terms of what you can express in that language to achieve that level. For example, to be considered A1, you have to be able to use simple phrases, to use the present tense, some prepositions, and to be able to use all those expressions of need. So, for example, where's the bathroom? How much is this? To have a conversation with someone who would put effort in having a conversation with you, let's say, so talking slowly and trying to understand what you're saying. Then A2 expands the vocabulary to family, hobbies, shopping, and you should be able to understand like simple signals or messages that are given to the public. And the more you go on, like B1, you are supposed to have conversations with people, till C2, where you are basically like a native speaker. You can survive in any situation, you understand everything that has been said to you. And actually even more, because in fact with CELI number 5, so C2, you can even teach Italian as a second language, of course, not as your native language. While you need CELI number 3 to be able to attend a university in Italy. It depends, it may depend on some agreements that you may have with that university or some different requirements it has, but generally speaking, that's the one you should have. So all of this taken into consideration, it is usually said that people take 30 hours to go from one level to the other, so from 0 to A1, from A1 to A2, and so on, till B2, where you need 60 hours to get to C1, and then 180 from C1 to C2. And with hour, we intend academical hour, so when you study actively and you learn something new, okay? So you're not considering all the practice that you do, for example, when you're listening to music or when you're watching a movie. Let's say that that's when you focus on a book or when you try to express something that you haven't expressed before. Also mind that those levels, A2, B1, B2, blah, 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 can be different according to oral production, reading and comprehension, or written production. So, competencies may be not always on the same. Again, it depends on your goal. Like if you want to understand more than what you want to be able to say, you will focus on listening and comprehension, right? You have to do the maths actually and see how much time you're studying per week, let's say, or per month, and see, given the basic rules that I've given you, that are not from me, of course, but from general references, as I told you before, then you have to calculate how much time you would need to reach the goal you've set for yourself. Generally speaking, though, I'd say that you may be able to have your own conversation and to survive, for sure, in Italy after 4 to 6 months of studying. Again, depending on how much input from outside you take, how much movies, how much songs you watch and listen to, and how much you study, yeah. But yeah, I'd say that's the range to say that you know the language, like how to survive. Then, of course, learning never ends, and that's for everything and for everyone. So it's really hard to say when you are there, when you got to the point where you wanted to be. Also because the more you study and the more you want to study, I know it may sound suspicious, but actually the more you understand, the more you want to be able to say, right? So yeah, even if it seems like a long journey in the beginning, take it day by day, step by step. Don't stress too much about rules. It will eventually come naturally to you. And even if it doesn't matter. You don't have to be 100% correct to convey your message. So my tip is to focus on the flow of the conversation more than on being 100% correct, when you're speaking. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about this? What is your level? How much do you study or did you study? And what is your goal? Also, remember that if you want to learn Italian in the fastest, easiest, and most fun way possible, you can click the link in the description and download our PDF lessons so that you can have real Italian conversations with native speakers. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Ciao ciao.
Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.
Want to speak real Italian from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at ItalianPod101.com.
Hello everyone, welcome back to ItalianPod101.com. My name is Daisy. Mi chiamo Daisy. And in this video we're going to talk about what happens in May in Italy. Maggio in Italia. Maggio in Italia. Maggio has a great start. In fact, the 1st of May is a holiday already. Il primo maggio, the 1st of May, è la festa dei lavoratori. The 1st of May is the holiday, is the celebration of workers. Lavoratori. Lavorare means to work. In fact, lavoratore is the worker. Lavoratrice, if she's female. Lavoratori in general. It was born as a day of manifestation to celebrate the achievement of the 8 hours shift in a day, so 8 working hours in a day. But that only happened in 1867 in Illinois. So the very same day, the very same way of celebration, which basically meant people on the street parading and manifesting their rights, right? So it was also used to ask, to request the very same right that it was granted in Illinois in other countries as well. For example, in Italy, we achieved that only in 1890, and there were many strikes before that, molti scioperi. Ci sono voluti molti scioperi, a lot of strikes were needed per ottenere il turno da 8 ore. To obtain the shift, the 8-hour shift. Turno is shift. In Italy, on top of parades and manifestations, as I was just saying, in 1990 a new tradition has begun, il concerto del primo maggio, so the 1st of May's concert. It is held in Rome and organized by I sindacati, that is to say labor unions. It is broadcasted on TV also, and it usually had some guests, of course, but also gruppi indipendenti, so independent groups, as in their music doesn't really belong to any label, let's say. Of course, when the 1st of May is on a Tuesday or a Thursday, there is the possibility to do the ponte, which you may already know. It's the bridge that is in between two holidays. So for example, if we have a weekend and then the holiday with a working day in between, then you can bridge over that and take the whole thing as a holiday. I mean, depending on the company and the job that you have. Then, on the second Sunday of May, la seconda domenica di maggio, we celebrate Mother's Day. Festeggiamo la festa della mamma. Festeggiamo la festa della mamma. Mamma being mom. On this month, a lot of flowers are blooming, right? So, of course, bouquet is the most popular thing to be gifted. Un mazzo di fiori. Mazzo di fiori. You can also say bouquet, but that's more for the wedding. Mazzo di fiori is more in general. A bunch of flowers. But also, a lot of kids, for example, in school, they make cards, so biglietti di auguri, biglietti di auguri. Biglietto is literally note, and auguri is of congratulations. So auguri mamma, that's what it usually says, and also grazie. Thank you for everything that you do. Grazie per tutto, for everything. Around this time, so it can be either the 2nd or the 3rd weekend of May, we also have La Notte dei Musei. La Notte dei Musei. So Museums Night. This is quite recent as a thing. It's not really a celebration, but it's still something that has been going on for some years. So on this specific day, museums cost only €1, And that's not the only good news. Of course, it's important to go without spending a lot, but also a lot of people that are usually working during opening hours can now go because they stay open the whole night. I mean, not the whole night, as in till the morning, but like till 10, 11, some even till midnight. So it's a really great opportunity to see things that you haven't had the chance to see before, and also without spending a lot. But remember to check opening hours when it's the last time you can enter, so l'ultima entrata, the last entrance, literally. Another thing that we celebrate around this time, I don't know when exactly because it is 50 days after Easter, so sometimes it may even be in June, is la Pentecoste. Pentecoste. And this is a religious celebration. It may also be called la Pasqua Rossa, so Red Easter, la Pasqua Rossa, because of the garnishments priests use during this period for this specific function, which is made in order to celebrate the Holy Spirit descending on the apostles. Nowadays, there are some processions in some cities, some parades, but it has been a celebration even before religion was involved because it was to say thank you to God for the nature gifts and all the fruits that are available during this month. As I mentioned sometimes already, this is a very good month for nature. In fact, the weather is really nice. It's already kind of hot. It goes from 17-ish degrees till 30 sometimes. People start to be outside more and more. So there are also many fiere agricole, so about agriculture and flowers, fiori, and also some specific historical events that are held outside. For example, in Venice, there is la Voga Longa. Voga Longa. It's a not competitive race of gondole, of course, so the long boats. Voga Longa. Longa both because the boats are long, but also because it's a long path. And it's interesting to think that it was born as a protest against the power boats. In Ferrara, for example, there is the Palio, with the horses, so la corsa di cavalli, horses race, or also, still, again with horses in Sardinia, la cavalcata sarda. La cavalcata sarda. In Sassari, the third Sunday of the month, because cavalcata means ride, basically, on top of the horses. It's also the beginning of the season for trekking trails, so some sentieri di montagna, so mountains trail only open during this time, like it's safe to go. And that's also for just camminate in montagna, walks in the mountains. I mean, technically you can do that even in winter, but it's not ideal. So yeah, this is basically what happens during May in Italy. It is a really good month because it's not full of holidays, but it's warm and there are a lot of events, so it's really lively, I'd say. Not only for the colors, but also for the mood, because holidays are coming soon, so you can see people being extremely excited. Anyway, I hope you have the chance to visit Italy in May or during any other month actually, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and if you haven't done it yet, you can sign up for your free lifetime account on italianpod101.com. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Ciao ciao. Bye bye.
Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description. Access your free language gifts right now before they expire. First, the 50 Most Common Verbs PDF worksheet. Do you know all of these verbs? If not, this PDF writing worksheet will help you master the 50 most common verbs fast. Download it for free right now. Second, the Sports and Exercise Cheat Sheet. Learn to talk about your favorite sports and all about making gains in the gym with this PDF conversation cheat sheet. Third, must-know words and phrases. With this quick lesson, you'll be able to say fast food, menu, order, and much more. Fifth, must-know summer clothes vocab. Do you know how to say t-shirt or shorts in your target language? If you don't, this next 1-minute lesson gives you all the words you need for summer clothing. Fourth, the top 30 words for the classroom. You'll learn words like school, teacher, quiz, and more with this 1-minute lesson. And sixth, Want an app that teaches you the language through conversations? Download Innovative Language Learning for free for the Android, iPhone, and iPad. You'll unlock bite-sized lessons that teach you practical conversations and get you speaking in minutes. To get your gifts and language learning resources, click the link in the description below. Download them right now before they expire. Hey everyone, welcome to the Monthly Review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, study tools, and resources. By the way, all the lessons and bonuses you're about to see can be downloaded for free on our website. So click the link in the description right now to sign up for your free lifetime account. Okay, today's topic is testing and assessment, a brutally honest way to improve your language. Are you learning a language on your own and not making any meaningful progress? Well, you may not like hearing this, but there's a good chance that you're taking it too easy with how you're learning. Now, taking it easy is not bad, but when you're looking to boost your progress and actually master a language and you're no longer satisfied, something needs to change. And an outside motivator, like a test, can and will fire you up to get better. How? Stick around today and you'll discover why tests are crucial for language progress even if you hate them, 4 ways you can put yourself and your language to the test, and much more. But first, if you're looking for new free language resources and downloads, here are this month's new lessons and resources. Be sure to download these now before we take them down in a few days. First, the 50 Most Common Verbs PDF worksheet. Do you know all of these verbs? If not, this PDF writing worksheet will help you master the 50 most common verbs fast. And second, the Sports and Exercise Conversation Cheat Sheet. You'll learn to talk about your favorite sports and all about making gains in the gym with this PDF conversation cheat sheet. To get your free resources, click the link in the description below right now. They're yours to keep forever. Now to today's topic. Testing and assessment, a brutally honest way to improve your language. If you're learning a language on your own, do you ever feel like you're just coasting through without making real progress? Maybe you're playing vocabulary games with an app and keeping your streak, or you're watching videos by your favorite language YouTubers. But when it comes down to it, you can't speak or keep up with conversations in your target language. Well, then it's very possible that you're taking it a bit too easy. So what should you do? Part 1. Why tests are crucial for language progress. Every year, millions of people sign up for language proficiency tests. You might have heard of these tests as well. There's the JLPT for Japanese, the TOPIK for Korean, DELF for French, HSK for Chinese, and the TOEFL for English. They're not doing this for school. They don't have to do this. They can just easily stay at home, sleep in, avoid discomfort, and continue playing vocabulary games. But millions sign up on their own anyway, every year. They prepare for months, they wake up early on the day of the test, and go through the pain of taking a test. Now, of course, there are some benefits to passing. For example, some jobs will require proof of proficiency, which makes these tests so important. But aside from that, tests are also important learning tools for 2 reasons. First, tests give you an honest assessment of your language skills. And second, for motivation. But let's break these down in full. So if you've ever enrolled in a language school or taken a language class, you have to take a placement test. Based on your results, the teachers see where you stand and place you into an appropriate class, so you can learn what's appropriate for your level. Plus, there's ongoing assessment, like weekly quizzes and tests every month. So, what's the big deal about tests and quizzes? Even if you don't like tests, tests give you an honest assessment of your language skills in specific ways. If you fail the listening part, you know your weakness is there. If you forgot a grammar pattern, now you know you need to practice it more. But if you never put your language to the test, you'd never know. You may not even know the mistakes you're making right now. You don't know what pieces you might be missing. But tests give you an opportunity to check your actual language skills, and they give you a brutal reality check. Now, the second benefit of tests is motivation. Think about it. As a self-learner, no one else is going to push you to do your best. You're not in school, this is your own goal, and if you're like most people, you're going to take it easy on yourself. So when you're wondering why you're not fluent yet, but you've been coasting along, learning words here and there without actually testing your limits, well, that's the thing. You haven't been actually testing yourself and pushing yourself at all. And that's what tests do. They give you that challenge, that urgency to improve, that motivation. There's a specific date and time of the test. You have to be ready by that deadline. Just think back to a night before a test. You felt the urgency back then. You were motivated to pass. So this is exactly why a lot of self-learners take a proficiency test. It gives them something to aim for, something to be motivated about, something to achieve. Now, tests are not the complete answer to language learning, but they do give you a way to assess yourself and give you a challenge. So what can you do as a self-learner? Part 2. How you can put yourself to the test. But first, before you worry about failing, it's not about passing or failing. This is about getting an honest assessment of your progress. Now, the first and most obvious thing you can do is sign up for a language proficiency test. There are many kinds of proficiency tests available, so you can pick the right one for you. By signing up, you now have the added pressure and motivation to improve, something that's hard to do on your own. The second way is, if you're following the learning pathway inside our program, you automatically get tested after every few lessons with multiple choice and teacher-graded assessments. The third way is learn with a teacher, whether it's our Premium Plus program, our live group classes, or your own teacher. Because the ultimate test of your language is when you actually have to speak to a native speaker. And with a native speaking teacher, they can easily assess your language, tell you what you got wrong, and how to improve. The fourth way is to test yourself with a harder lesson inside our program. Think of it as trying to lift a heavier weight at the gym to see if you can do it. You can do this for reading, speaking, and listening. Simply go to a higher level, like intermediate or advanced, and try a lesson. With reading, you can also try our higher level extensive reading books. Again, remember, with all of this, the goal here is not a pass or fail result. The goal is to get an honest assessment of your language skills, what you know and what you don't know. If you realize that you're mispronouncing a certain word, now you know how to correct it. If you can only understand 50% of a lesson, well, that means you should review it until you get to 100%. If you don't understand a lesson dialogue at all, which is where most people get intimidated, make it a goal to master the dialogue. Give yourself a goal to aim for. And if you can't read as smoothly as you had hoped, all it means is that you should give it a few more tries until you're better. Thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. Next time, we'll talk about new topics and talking points, the easiest way to increase your speaking time. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. See you next time. Bye! Great work! Here's a reward. Speed up your language learning with our PDF lessons. Get all of our best PDF cheat sheets and ebooks for free. Just click the link in the description.